Welcome back once again. We are now on puzzle number 38 of Chess Champ Volume 6, Tactics in Attack and Defense by Igor Shishkin. So in this video we are just going to be going over how to force black to sacrifice his queen. Okay, how to force black to sacrifice his queen. So usually what happens in a game of chess is that right, first let's go over the basics. Remember this white square, on this white square with the rook, this is h1, and this white square where the black king is, this is a8. all right, so this is h1, and then this is then h8. all right, so it's white's turn to move. all right, if you count the pieces, you can see that black is ahead in terms of material. Black has got 10 points and white has got 6 points. all right, but we're saying there is a tactic that white can use to win the game. all right, there's a tactic that white can use to win the game, and that tactic is forcing black to sacrifice his queen. all right, so let's look at the position here. The black king is in the corner here. The black king cannot come to the square here, which is b8, because this pawn here on c7 is controlling the square on b8. all right, at the same time the black king cannot escape to a7 because the pawn is on a7. all right, b7 is a square which is occupied by the black queen, so the black king basically has nowhere to run. all right, so in such a position, if the black king were to be attacked from just about any direction, he would have to he would really struggle to find a way to defend himself. all right, so in this position, it's in this puzzle, this is puzzle number 38. If you look at the title, it says give a check that forces black to sacrifice the queen. all right, and let's see which checks can we give as white. all right, the only check that comes to mind is this one on h8. Let's try it. Rook h8 check. okay, rook h8 check. Now here black has to be careful. If he plays rook queen to remember that black king cannot escape here. He's being checked, he cannot escape. So he has to be careful now. The only way that for him to escape is through the square here on b7, and b7 is being occupied by the queen. So he has to sacrifice the queen in order for the king to escape. all right, so here if it comes to b8, it will become a checkmate after black captures the queen like this. This will become a checkmate. So in order to avoid that checkmate, black has to be careful which square he puts his queen. all right, so if he puts his queen here on c8, all right, then white can then capture, and then the king can then escape on b7. all right, so that's an example of giving a check and then forcing black to sacrifice the queen. all right, so let's go over this concept once again. Remember our black king, or rather the king, is the most important piece in a game of chess. all right, and sometimes when your king is cornered, it has to sacrifice important pieces. all right, and in this case it had to sacrifice the queen. all right, so and the correct move here was rook h8 check. all right, and as you can see, it's a check. The black king has got nowhere to escape. The only way to escape is by giving a sacrifice of the queen. okay, so he sacrificed the queen on c8, and then the white captured. all right, and then the black king could then march out onto b7. All right, so that's an example of a a check that forces black to sacrifice the queen. All right, so if you go over the puzzles 37 to 42, you will notice that they are similar puzzles which are in which white is giving check, and it forces the black queen to sacrifice herself in order to give the black king a room or a square to move away from the check. Okay, so please try those puzzles number 37 to 42. All right, so next we go to puzzles number 43 to 48, and we're going to just quickly take one puzzle from that, and we're just going to go over that puzzle. All right, this puzzle is called deflecting the white king from defending the king. All right, so this puzzle is basically about this thing called this concept called deflection. Deflection is when you are trying to force another piece away from an important piece so that you can capture it. All right, so let's see how we can go over this concept. All right, so in this position it is white to move, it's black to move, and as it is black to move, we look at we first of all count our pieces to see who has got the more points. All right, to see who has the more points, and in this position white has got more points. White has got 6, the bishop and the knight, that's 6, plus a queen, that's 9. That makes 6 plus 9, 15, plus 2, that's 17. And then here we have the black queen, which is 9 plus 3, that's 12, plus another 3, that's 15. So white is leading by 2 points. All right, but in this position, let's look at the position. White is attacking the black queen here. All right, so the black queen is under attack. All right, also the black queen is also under attack from the white queen. All right, so you have the white queen is also attacking the black queen. All right, so here a move that could be played would be simply exchange of queens. All right, you could simply capture like this, right? Simply capture like this, and then the white king also captures. All right, but that's not the tactic that we want to learn. We want to learn a tactic called deflection. So deflection is basically moving it's black's turn to move in this position. Deflection is basically finding a way to move a defending piece away from its position. All right, so this the white queen here, the white queen here is being defended by the white queen here is being defended by the white king here. All right, such that if black decides to capture with the queen, the king will then capture. All right, but we want to deflect the protector of the white queen, which is the king, such that we can get we can capture the white queen for free. And to do that, we are going to use a forcing move. A forcing move is a move that forces your opponent to react to. All right, so we're going to play look at the position, and if we play bishop b6, all right, bishop b6, check, bishop b6. The bishop, as you can see, is here, and it is firing all these dark squares. So it's now attacking the white king. Right. So in this position, white has got two main. He's got two moves. He can either defend with the queen, or he can move away. Right. Or he can move away. Right. So when he moves away, he leaves the white queen unprotected. Right. So as you can see, we gave check, we deflected the king from its place of protection, and then it moves to h2, sorry, and then now the white queen is no longer protected. When it's no longer protected, we can now capture it now. So it's now our turn, we can now capture it. So that's the concept of deflection. All right, so let's go over that concept once again. So in this position, we are saying the black queen is attacking the white queen, and it can capture the white queen. But if it captures the white queen, the white king can also capture it back. But we don't want our queen to be captured. We want our queen to a piece. And to do that, we can use this concept of deflection. If we give the bishop, say bishop b6 check, all right, check, we are forcing this white king here to move. So the white king could move here, or the white king could move here on h2. Right, so let's move on h2 and see what happens. So as it moves on h2, we could then capture it like this. All right, so that's the first variation of what could have happened. Right, the second variation is the white queen could have blocked the check. Right, but as it blocks the check, we could then take our queen here on f8 and use it to capture the queen on f2 like this check. Right, and now the black king cannot capture the queen because it is being protected by the black bishop. All right, so again in this case, he would have, the white king would have to move. So when it's now like this, then you count our pieces to say who has now the more pieces, and or rather the more points, and you find that it is now black who has the more points and the better chances of winning the game. Okay, so that's the concept of deflection. That's the concept of deflection, deflecting the king from defending the queen. All right, so try out puzzles number 43 to number 48 and see if you can master those puzzles.